Libra, how you doing? Welcome to your reading. This is for December 2020, general reading, Sun, Moon, Rising and Ascending. As always, if there's communication problems, look at your Mercury. If it's love concerns, look at your Venus. And if you don't know where those placements are, there's a link down below in the description that says free natal chart that can show you those things. Okay. Also in the description box is a link for AC Digital Marketing Solutions, which is my friend that does my incredible thumbnails and my social media management. So you can check that out, as well as to sign up to my newsletter. You get a letter like once every 4 to 6 weeks. For those of you always supporting me, welcome. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Adrian. I'm an intuitive healer. I practice holistic wellness, and I'm also a spiritual regression hypnosis practitioner. Okay, right. So this is for December 2020. I know that it's very early, but you know, I wanted to be proactive about it. There is also a November 2020 reading if you want to have a look at that. I keep on seeing the Sun card for you, Libra, as I'm preparing for your reading, which is actually a wonderful thing because the Sun is the, you know, the happiest card in the tarot deck. So amongst all the, you know, all the cards. So who knows? Let's see what's going on. The way that I'm doing this reading, it's from, you know, what sort of global ascension taking place. So it goes from the 3D, those things that, you know, that weren't kind of serving you so well, towards the 5D. So where you're coming from, where you're going towards, and with the 4D in the middle, what are the things that, you know, that you maybe need to overcome, work on keeping you stuck, that sort of thing. All right. So that is really what we're looking at in this reading. What you're doing well, where you're going towards, where you're stuck at. Let's see for y'all. What we got for Libra, please. We're going to start with the 3D. And then we're also going to end off for you with a message from the universe, as well as an oracle card. What card is this that want to come up? Okay. Get one more. So you've got the 6 of Swords, the 2 of Cups, the 8 of Pentacles, and boom, 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 boom. Are you ready, Libra? Are you ready? Where's the card? Okay, that's too many cards, but what is the top one? The Chariot. Oh, lovely. Okay, so 6 of Swords, 2 of Cups. Healing from a situation you thought you may never heal from. The 8 of Pentacles and the Chariot. So for many of you, you know, there may have been sort of like very contrived there, you know, things in the past there. You thought you're never going to get past this, never going to get over this. Things are never really going to swing in your favor. And you sort of accepted that situation. Now, in the accepting of the situation, I also feel that, sorry, I know I'm contradicting myself, but I also feel that there was some sort of movement. Maybe you moved, maybe you went to a different town, you went abroad, or, you know, you left a situation. There was some sort of movement involved, and things didn't go exactly according to plan, you know. You may have called it many things, but, you know, you could have been running away from something. And I feel that when you stop justifying the situation itself, you know, when you stop trying to call it something other than what it actually is, things started to flow for you, you know. There's a lot of inner work that was done here, you know, where you had to go look at the things sort of like, you know, so these are the light things, and these are the beautiful things, and these are the wonderful things. But you also somehow saw, some of you kind of saw that sort of like, you know, that nasty side of us that we don't always like to look at. You know, the ways in which you could be holding yourself back in life. And for some of you, there's a bit of a tea storm in a teacup situation that was going on here, which for some reason has been maintained because it sort of provided to you the illusion that you've got control. Okay, doesn't mean that you were totally out of control, but you were not 100% in control. Okay, And by some sort of divine intervention, I feel that for many of you, you started to look at the things that you have, at the things that are working in your life. You know, there was quite a focus on the things that are really bringing your spirits down, and they were really bringing you down quite a lot. And then you started to focus on the things that are actually working, you know, hope, love, maybe get a finer attunement with sort of nature again. And then things started to move forward for you quite swiftly and quite beautifully, you know. All right, let's see. But there was some heaviness involved, and with another card for that. It's like you moved away, but you kind of took a little something with you still. All right. It's like when we sort of leave like like an area where they've got lots of precious things, and you leave, people's like, you sure you didn't take anything? You know, like, I didn't take anything. But for some of you, you took something, even if it's just a thought. Queen of Swords. You released fully, but you took that little grain of sand with you. And you felt it was a wise thing to do. You know, let's keep that back door open. Let's not completely cut off the situation. Let's not burn this bridge. Many justifications for that sort of action going forward. Now look at where you are in your 5D, the Magician. My goodness. Also the strong realization that you don't have to sort of take anything with you, you know. Now, you're not being discouraged from being proactive, but this is not so much being proactive. This was more a sense of fear. You know, if I don't, I need to sort of keep this backup plan. If I don't, you know, things can actually go very south. Whereas where you are going and where you are heading and what's coming towards you is that simple accepting when it comes to sort of, you know, energy work, alchemy in a sense, really. You know, alchemy sort of being the forerunner of sort of what we call, you know, like chemistry these days, really, you know, how to make things work. That cellular sort of understanding, that molecular understanding that whatever it is that you want to have, you can just create it from thin air because everything is energy expressed, okay? So it's quite a powerful realization to head towards. And I feel that for some of you even, now I'm not saying that you should release anything right now, but for some of you, as you go forward and you look back, you realize like, oh, I was a little silly to do that to myself. Okay, and it's okay. We all learn in life from our, you know, past experiences. That's sort of how living works. Let's see. Okay. So you've got the Magician, then you've got the Three of Wands. I love it. The Nine of Swords. So from that Six of Swords that was there, you know, before that you're moving from, you get into a space where you realize whatever you want is right there for you, very much for the taking. Okay. It's in that space where, you know, we get to a space where we work really hard to be able to align with everything. But then we actually sort of move forward. We come to a space where we realize that through all the work that we do through spirituality and all that sort of stuff, you know, and sort of like self-development and self-improvement and self-love and, you know, all those type of things that we do, you know, inner child healing, the whole vibe, it brings us to a point where we realize that we are at our most powerful and at our most magical and at our most productive when we do nothing. And the way that comes about, this little something that you carried forward with you, this little something is going to have to be released as you're going forward. There with the Nine of Swords, okay? And there's quite a powerful realization that's opening up for you all. Very powerful. And that is when we realize that we don't have to sort of hoard with anything, because whatever you want to have, you can achieve quite easily. You know, when you work with the law of attraction and you are not sort of in any sort of resistance mode. A lot of times we don't get what we would like to have in this world because we work so hard at manifesting it. You know, so let's say you want to have a different job. You make a vision board for that, which is fantastic, and you do some affirmations for it. But then, as you're not having what you'd like to have, we start to go into a space where, we become almost frantic about it. And it's that sort of that sense of like, that frantic vibe that often keeps us from achieving what it is that we'd actually like to achieve. All right. It's that little something that you brought with you now. It could be a mindset as well. Remember, we all sort of have mindsets and patterns and beliefs that are not always serving us in the best possible way. Okay. So as you're sort of heading forward, you realize that this is one more thing that's going to have to be dealt with. And we'll do it when the time is right. Okay. Because what also happens is you are moving towards something really incredible, and it's called your 0 point energy, which is really that moment that you are born, that you're born into that perfect sort of life plan, soul plan, basically, the purpose for your life. And you are born with all the resources and the whole plan that is perfectly set in place. But then we obviously start the business of living and, cooperating, living with other people around us. And the plan starts to go a little bit south. We get a little bit off track. So I feel that for many of you sort of realize that you were off track a little. You dealt with a lot in the past. So there's no doubt about that. But you felt you had to take your sort of like your nest egg, your sense of security with you. It was the logical thing to do. All right. And remember, we can only really do from what we know. And when you know better, you do better. All right. So as you're moving forward, you're getting to know a lot better, and you're beginning to work sort of with that flow, with that perfect plan that's always available. So I see you working in becoming alignment with your true potential, with the actual plan. And when we do that, in fact, it's very, very powerful because the simple thing is, no matter how grand our plan is for ourselves, life always has a grand plan, So as you work in the sense of getting in alignment with the flow, and as you get to that space, as you're going forward, where there's a lot of release taking place. A lot of you, when I say this to you, you might, you may get it, but you might not grasp it to the full extent of what I'm actually saying it to you. You're about to become very relaxed. There was a lot of sort of micromanagement of the universe, almost in a sense, happening over here. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't think that. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do that. And you releasing that, So there's quite a lot of faith and trust going with the universe. So with that Magician card also that you have going forward, it's one thing to work with the universe to create the desires of our heart. But when we understand that there's nothing, that you really have to create because there's already a perfect plan that'll blast your mind, already set in place. This plan was set in place before you were even born. So as you go forward and you do that alignment, your life just starts to work out. Not because the universe is suddenly sort of on your side now, but you're not really working to sort of like against that greater part of you, which is the universe. All right. Remember, we are, as human beings, we are an expression of an infinite possibility. All right. From the universe. The entire universe has got your back because you are the universe express. The universe wants you to win. And when we can, sorry, when we can come from a point where we can realize, am I doing it right? I've got it. When we come from a point where we can realize that we've got this incredible force behind us that wants us to succeed and that wants to help us succeed, because the force, the universe, the flow, what I call source of all, you can call it whatever, you are an expression of the source. And everything in life is about moving forward and expanding forwards and outwards, you know. And so the entire universe supports that. And because you are an expression of the universe wants you to be successful. All right. So that little bit of micromanagement of, you know, of life that you felt it was necessary that you have to do, I feel that many of you are heading into that space where you feel that you don't have to do that anymore. And when you realize that you don't have to micromanage life, then life actually becomes quite incredible for you. And it can be very difficult for us sometimes to do that. Let me just have some water, sorry. So refreshing. It can be so wonderful for us to do that sometimes, because it's that powerful sense of knowing that you are being ultimately supported always, and that you don't have to do anything, you know, in order for the universe to come on your side, you know. And please don't get me wrong, I am not criticizing any beliefs or anything like that whatsoever. What I'm saying is, when we get to a point where we realize that we don't have to work, you know, bend over backwards so much to get in favor of life, because we are the favor sort of life already, you know. It's like a child with a parent. If you would like to have something, you understand, you can ask your parent, but you don't really need to beg them, because you know they want you to be happy. All right, let's see. So 2 cards went down to the ground. One is very stubborn to come up. Okay, so 8 of Swords, this is where you currently are, and the Knight of Cups. Bit of holding on here. Could have something to do with love, you know. Some of you feel that you deserve like an apology, an explanation. You need something in order to let go, you know. Like, they gotta apologize. They owe that to me, you know. They owe that to me. Do you have any idea what they've done? They should apologize. And in a sense, some of you are still holding yourself in bonding there. Okay, what's going on here? Cards are falling all over the place. This situation's clearly got to do something with love, some sense of disappointment. Doesn't have to be romantic love, but it was a connection that's very close to your heart. There's a lot of hope. Maybe you put a lot into the situation, and you know, you can't just so easily just let it go. It's very personal to you. Let's see. But there's also a part of yourself almost looking at you in the sense of like, you gotta let this go. You gotta let this go. All right. Yep. 7 of Cups and Knight of Cups. Now, I'm just gonna say it. Some of you are in a situation where you are prepared to, where you are right now. It's like you're in between, do I do this or don't I do this? And the reason why you have doubt is because I feel that many of you know that you are actually about to make quite a big mistake right now. There's this part within yourself that it's sort of very gently, yet very urgently saying to you, this is probably not the best idea for you right now. So, and I do feel that some of you are still going to go ahead with it in any case. I feel that where you are at the moment, you can place, your intentions might be what you would call good, but it still links to that feeling stuck in wanting to do that sort of apology thing. So the action itself may not be bad that you're about to take, but it's the motivation behind the action that can cause the troubles. So some of you might be about to sort of, you know, make that sort of choice and, you know, convincing yourself that it's the best thing to do. You may regret this decision quite badly. Okay, so you want to think about that. And be clear that you're doing things for the right reason. Let's get you a message from the universe. cards are flying all over the place. I've had that there's the Two of Swords and the Six of Cups. Two of Swords again. These cards are all flying around now. What's going on here? Okay, so they said I should have just shown them to you, but I don't need to put them out. Okay. That's what it is. Alright, so you've got the King of Cups. That beautiful confirmation that you are not alone. The Devil. Temperance and the Queen of Wands. Let me get you one more. Message from the universe. What's going on here? Look at this. Nine of Swords. Nine of Wands. It's time for you to embrace your power back and to know this. It's like you know that this is not the best step for you to take. You know this. Alright? There's a situation here that sort of comes from pride and ego and, you know, wanting to feel joy, but not necessarily for the best possible reasons. There's very strong emotions involved here. Okay, let's finish off with an oracle card. Take risks and venture forward. And that's what I got for you. See you next time.